And we finally made it through the Gate of Time. Hey all, MasaeAnela here, and welcome back to another episode of The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. And I do have to say, I love the aesthetic of the Gate of Time. It is just so cool looking. It hits that sweet spot of steampunk and cyberpunk while looking like a watch face. I don't know, I've always loved the color combination. I love the symbols on it. It's one of those things that has always been striking to me. And I'm happy that we finally get to see it in action now. But last episode, we sealed away the imprisoned again, crossed through the Gate of Time, and now we are here. And we're catching up with Impa. Man, it's been a bit, huh? At last, I've been expecting you, Link. You are doubtless overwhelmed, so I will explain things as simply as I can. This is the Temple of Hylia, though it will come to be known as the Sealed Temple sometime in the future. You stand in the past, ages before your own time. Here, the goddess, Hylia, has only just sealed away demise, and little time has passed since the goddess sent the outcropping of rock into the sky that would one day become Skyloft. It is true to its name. You have passed through the Gate of Time to an era in the distant past. You will have many questions, but for now, you must proceed back through the great doors behind you. It is there that the person you've risked life and blood to defend waits for you. Alright, hey, remember really early on in the game, I peeked through those doors and we saw a little something behind there but couldn't really push through? It's finally time to see what awaits us behind these big doors. And there she is. You've come so far, Link. I'm glad you made it. I imagine Impa filled you in on everything. We've traveled very far from home, to the distant past. In this era, the wounds inflicted on the land during the battle between the goddess and the Demon King known as Demise have not yet healed. All the fairy tales about that war we heard growing up in Skyloft, incredible as it may seem, they appear to be all too real. I think it's time you learned the whole story. Let me try to explain. The old gods created a supreme power that gave anyone who possessed it the ability to shape reality and fulfill any desire. They called it the Triforce. In his thirst to make the world his own, Demise readied a massive army of monsters for war. He sought to take the Triforce for himself by force. The goddess feared for her people. She used her power to send both them and the Triforce into the sky on a slice of earth she cut away from the land. This floating rock became the new home of our people. In time, it came to be known as Skyloft. After a long and fierce battle, the goddess, Hylia, succeeded in sealing away Demise. However, soon after the Demon King was imprisoned, it became clear that the seal would not hold long against his fearsome power. Hylia had suffered grave injuries in her battle with the Demon King. She knew that if he broke free again, there would be no stopping him. And if the Demon King were to free himself, it would mean the end of the world for all beings of this land. In order to put an end to the Demon King, Hylia devised two separate plans and set them both into motion. First, she created Phi. She made the spirit that resides in your sword to serve a single purpose, to assist her chosen hero on his mission. Her second plan was to abandon her divine form and transfer her soul to the body of a mortal. She made this sacrifice, as you have likely guessed, so that the supreme power created by the old gods could one day be used. For while the supreme power of the Triforce was created by gods, all of its power can never be wielded by one. Knowing this power was her last and only hope, the goddess gave up her divine powers and her immortal form. You've probably figured it out by now, haven't you, Link? You are the chosen hero, and I, Zelda, am the goddess reborn as a mortal. The day of the ceremony, Girahim's tornado tossed me out of the sky and down to the world below. I was nearly captured by the demonic forces, but I was rescued at the last moment by the old woman who lives in the sealed grounds. I had no memory at all of my existence as Hylia, but she explained it to me. She helped me to remember who I was and what I had to do. I set out to pray at the goddess statues located in each temple across the land. Each statue stirred up memories within me. After I visited them all, Impa, an agent of the goddess, led me here, to the past. All of this is part of the same great effort to prevent the revival of demise. Stripped of his true physical form by the seal that binds him, he takes the shape of an abomination. But even in his hideous state, he's more than capable of devouring this land if we allow him to do what he desires. We must stop him from freeing himself from the seal that imprisons him, at any cost. That is why I intend to remain here in this time and place, to sustain the seal as best as I can. As long as I continue this vigil, we may be able to prevent the Demon King from fully reviving himself in our own time. I must maintain the seal that Hylia, or rather that I, created so long ago, and keep it strong for as long as I am able. With the memories of my former life returning to me, I can see now that this is my purpose. Link, the goddess created Phi and the great blade she's a part of for very specific reasons. For the task of standing against demise in the monstrous form he now assumes rests solely on your shoulders. Back in our own time, you've already driven him back into his prison twice now. I can't thank you enough for that, Link. During your long journey, you've grown so much. You learned wisdom from solving devious puzzles and traps. You gained power by honing and tempering both yourself and your sword. And by overcoming the trials set before you by the goddess, you found true courage. Now that those qualities reside in you, you are worthy of wielding the power the old gods left behind for our kind. You can claim the Triforce. Valiant hero, you have endured many hardships and journeyed far in your quest to reach this place. Along your travels you have found wisdom, power, and courage, and for this I shall bless your sword with the goddess's power. May it give you and your sword the strength to drive back the abomination that threatens this land. The mark you see upon the back of your hand is proof that you are the hero of legend and that within you dwells sacred power. It is the mark of the Triforce. Stand now, Link. Draw your sword. The goddess has blessed your blade, and the Master Sword has at last achieved its ultimate form. The sword is now imbued with the mythical power to drive back demons, and only Link may wield it. Link, before I say another word, I feel like I owe you an apology. You see, the mark of the Triforce on your hand is a symbol of the greatest power in this world. If you can attain the actual Triforce, we will have the power to vanquish demise once and for all. The problem is, among the countless souls in this world, only a select few, those with an unbreakable spirit, can wield its might. It's impossible to know the true reason why the old gods created the Triforce, but I have a theory of my own. The gods created the Triforce, yet they specifically designed it so that their own kind could never use its power. Somehow, I think that may have been their way of giving hope to all the mortal beings of the land. Which brings me back to you. To face demise and give the land hope, the goddess Hylia needed someone with an unbreakable spirit. That someone is you, Link. But spirit alone wasn't enough. You had to overcome many trials and awaken the hero within yourself so that you could wield that supreme power. And so Hylia, and so I knew that if it meant saving Zelda, you would throw yourself headfirst into any danger, without even a moment's doubt. I used you. I can't begin to tell you how sorry I am for putting you into all of this, Link. But you have to understand, this is a war, and the fate of the land hangs in the balance. I need your strength to tip the scales in our favor. All that may be well-intentioned and true, but it doesn't mean it's right, and it doesn't excuse my actions. But I'm prepared to pay the price for what I've done. To ensure that the seal holds, I will remain here, in this time, deep in sleep for thousands of years. Link, I can't say it enough. I'm so sorry for the way I had to involve you in this. But until my memory of things before our lifetime returned to me, I had no idea we were fated to carry such a heavy destiny. Before all this, I was happy just spending my days hanging around with you in Skyloft. I wanted that feeling to last forever. While it's true that I am Hylia reborn, I'm still my father's daughter, and your friend. I'm still your Zelda. When demise is finally gone, there will be no more need for the seal that binds him, and then I'll be able to wake up. So I'm going to ask you a favor, sleepyhead. Ever since we were kids, I'd always be the one to wake you up when you slept in. But this time, when all of this is over, will you come to wake me up? And this is yet another point in Skyward Sword that charmed me. Just the amount of emotion in these characters and in this storyline really captured me the first time that I played this game. I feel like, especially considering the previous game before Skyward Sword on console was Twilight Princess, this was such a mood shift. It was so different. It felt so deep to me, and I definitely got. I got when I first played this, and my heart just squoze. I see you said goodbye. Now you must keep the promise you made to her. You must find the Triforce. Return to your time. There is work to be done here. Do not fear for Zelda. I will watch over her here. Go now and fulfill your destiny. So we're leaving Zelda behind in the distant past, and we are returning to our own. So you've returned. Then you know everything. On the other side of that gate, Zelda awaits, suspended in a sleep without end. But do not despair, for she is still alive and well. True to legend, the Triforce is the one thing with the power to vanquish demise. It is thought to have been hidden within Skyloft by the goddess. Sadly, that is all we know of where it rests. All other clues to its whereabouts have been lost to the ages. Link, you have likely come to the same conclusion, but I will spell it out just the same. The key to finding the Triforce must be in Skyloft. Go now, Link. Find the Triforce. Whoa there, hold up! Link, there's something I gotta tell you. So, Zelda, how's she holding up? Was she okay when you saw her? Dude, actually, man. That's terrible. It's gotta be so hard for the poor girl. Man, he's not flying off the handle or anything. This is character development. This right here is peak character development. Such a subtle thing, but Groose in the early game absolutely would have lost his entire mind and screamed and yelled and pitched a fit. But here he is having some emotional intelligence about this, and he's just like, that's so hard for her. But you're going to do something about this mess, right? Link, I've made up my mind. I'm not going back. I'm staying right here with Granny. Aw, don't look so bummed out. Do I look sad? Nah, I'm doing what I want to do. I don't know how to explain it. I got this feeling in my belly that there's work to do here. Someone's gotta watch that big ugly monster, and someone's gotta make sure Granny's doing alright. It ain't as action-packed as what you're doing, but maybe this is my destiny. Know what I mean? Besides, it's not so bad here. Living up in the sky was okay, I guess, but don't you just love the way it smells down here? What? That's not weird to say. Check it out. Zelda and Granny have brought life back to the land here. I bet even the weakest sapling could grow into one beast of a tree in soil like this. It'd brighten this place up a little too. I mean, sure, it'd take a few years for it to grow, but as far as I'm concerned, I got nothing but time. It's weird to say out loud, but that's just how I feel right now. So, yeah, you know. When you get back to Skyloft, do me a favor and let people know I'm doing okay down here. Colin and Stritch might get a little emotional since they look up to me, But you tell him I'm happy, okay? Thanks, Link. Character development, he's doing good, guys. He's doing good. Our Groose is growing up. And he's leaving Zelda to us. Oh. It'd be nice to have a tree here, but I don't have a seedling or anything. You seen one I can plant? Not yet, bro. But man, I'll keep my eyes peeled for you. That's gonna be your baby. This is your legacy, man. And before we head out, I do just want to once again point out this. Just this amount of foreshadowing right here. I pointed this out way in the beginning of the game, and now it makes so much more sense. I remember looking through here and I was like, we can peek in there, but it will be ages until we find out what that gem in there actually is. And now we know. That's Zelda. Zelda has been in there this entire time. Time loops are wild. Well, with all of that said and done, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this episode here. The next episode is going to have us going back to Skyloft and taking care of some things in that general vicinity. Bluebird! Bluebird. Bluebird. Not the pink one. Haha! I got them both! Okay, I got it. Alright, and with that, we're wrapping up. I'll see you all in the next episode. Up in the sky, on my way to Skyloft. Oh, I scared away another bluebird. But I'll see you guys then. MasaeAnela out.